Soul Garden.
Hello, Your Majesty, and welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Edition. I'm your host to the universe, Christopher Witecki. And this week, your free weekly horoscope is sponsored by yours truly. I'm having my March Madness sale. Right now, if you buy a 1-hour reading with me, I will throw in a free 30-minute follow-up sometime in 2012. This is an excellent first-time reading if you haven't had a reading with me, and they do book up fast. In fact, the last week in March is open at this moment, and first come, first serve from that point on. I do this as, I always open this up to help people in the door who haven't had a chance before. It's a good price. Also, come on down to the garden, your Facebook away from Facebook, soulgarden.me. We have a full Leo staff ramping up. In fact, many Lions stepped up to my advertisement last week and are in process to be of soul service to you. No means no. That's a big topic I see going by on the crawl down there. No means no. Of course, Your Majesty, we're not talking about staff when you say no. We're talking about how you talk to yourself. I think in no means no. But read for yourself and come hang out in the Lions, with the Lions, in the sun, in the wonderful garden. Lots of cool stuff going on. Now, the Lions. It's been a very private month. The Leos are working on intimacy issues, which comes down to trust, which comes down to sex and all our secrets and our own comfort. And Lions are very sensitive when it comes to their boundaries. They are Pisces. It's changing on the fly every second is what it comes down to. Now, for those of you watched over by the Guardian Agency, I have been sending out a series of psychic texts. I'll let you know those are going to continue this week, leading up to a very interesting conclusion. So keep answering them as they come in, and you'll see where I'm leading you. I am watching over and helping you with a very important decision coming around the corner. So keep answering them, okay? Now, as we start off on Monday, we actually have a breakdown day. My apologies for not being live. I had my own breakdown on Monday. I'm going live on Tuesday. For you, it might be a breakdown around a trust issue, a boundary issue, or a breakthrough issue. It's about getting through the crap and getting to the bottom of a boundary, all right? That might have meant an inflammation. It might have meant you start to heal the inflammation. It does mean that things are shifting as far as where you trust yourself and therefore the universe. Mercury also went retrograde on Monday, which means now the two sides of our thoughts flip. You always have the devil and the angel on one side. Well, they take different sides. The inner voice becomes the outer voice becomes the inner voice. That's what Mercury retrograde is for 3 weeks, 4 times a year. So the universe is constantly forcing us to kind of think differently. It allows you to see things you hadn't seen before. Often secrets slip out, people say things, we discover information. Also, communication devices will stop. If they do, stop. Just quit fighting it. The universe says no, the universe says no. You'll realize why. So it's an interesting day on Monday. The moon is in Scorpio on Monday, so the Lions are nesting and resting and need to put extra attention into your own emotions and being there for yourself on a self-nurturing level. On Tuesday, it's a day of breakthrough. Mercury rules the day, so we're starting to have communication. We're starting to get it. Things are clicking. The moon moves into Sag, so this is your inner prince or prince, so your inner child starts to lighten up and you're emotionally inspired, so that's good. And following what you love, following what inspires you, following what you find beautiful, these are all, very Leo romantic, typical, but when you do, you recharge yourself. You've got to give your inner child that attention. At the same time, you're figuring out where lines need to be drawn, and if you really want the simple equation, boundaries should be simply put around protecting your inner self, your inner child, and protecting yourself from being hurt from the world. That's it. So love. Boundaries need to be drawn around love to protect love everywhere, starting with love for yourself. The soul pyramid lights up. We're going to talk about this in one day. And Mercury retrograde means that you are now starting to realize or believe differently. So you might have gone headstrong into a new belief not too long ago. That was Uranus entering Aries, and I know you think you got it right away, but Uranus in Aries says compound, profound realizations about what you believe in life, your religion, your philosophies, your belief structure. So be open to that and be aware of that. Then on Wednesday, it's the Holy Shift Day. We've got this nuclear connection between these 3 groups of planets at 9 degrees exactly for one day and one day only. How blessed is that? Now Jupiter here, this is the epicenter. Jupiter-Venus means it's time for Leos to receive in a new way career, legacy, power. In a new way. probably in a new way, a way you haven't received before. You have to open up to receiving in this new way, says Venus, Jupiter, but you're ready. This means you have to say goodbye to the old lifestyle and the old life. Everything that you have been accustomed to as far as your work style, your lifestyle, your driving vehicle style, all of this is part of an old you that you have to be willing to let go of, which means a lot of material, a lot of attachments, but that is what's necessary for you to go forward in your career. And really the epicenter is Mars in Virgo. Mars in Virgo says you might think your self-confidence comes from this way, or your money comes from that way, or your value in life is this way. But it turns out you probably have to back up and realize there's a new way. So the way you make money, the way you manifest, self-confidence has got to go forward in a new way, a way that is different from what you are accustomed to. And you probably recently thought you got it and that was the way, but no, it's not, says Mars retrograde, if you want this career and if you want the new life. So that is the opportunity. For those of you who have signed up with our GA Alert Network, you will get alerts on Wednesday helping you along. It does only cost your normal text message fee for your provider, and we send a couple of text messages that are advertisements to pay for it, but you can still sign up before Wednesday. Text the word GA Text Me to 96362 and we'll put you in the list and be there for you on that day. On Thursday, it is a day of intuition. We connect to our higher self. We kind of get our higher self buy off on all this. So wherever it is you're putting your boundaries around love and whatnot of this whole month, you want to connect to your guides and see if everything senses or feels right. Okay, that's really what the point part of the day. The solar pyramid is off and running, and the moon will cross over Pluto, so you will have to emotionally step away from the old lifestyle. Any emotional attachments to the old lifestyle, you'll have to let go of. So in the old lifestyle, if you always, would typically, work till 7 and then go drink till 9 and then after that go home, that was the old work style. God, you really loved it. But that maybe is what's partially in the way of stepping into the new career. So be open to letting go of an old style in order to be open to a new style. That's what it's all about. And you're particularly feeling it on Thursday. Then on Friday, actually, it's a day of commitment, and that's going to lead to action. So you want to commit to these new boundaries, commit to this new idea or way of protecting yourself. And these are open, close, everything, including yourself. So it's a day of commitment. You feel strong. If you were feeling vulnerable before, you're not going to feel vulnerable now. The moon is past the tough spot of letting go of the old lifestyle. And you really are reading, Friday's a day of entering into strength, kind of yoga in the moment, reconnecting to your moment, etc. So Friday's kind of a reconnection day and feeling strong. Uranus goes 4 degrees on Friday. Why that's interesting is because the last time Uranus was 4 degrees, the stock market crashed, triggering the world depression. So this is a heavy, well-watched degree by myself. I'll be watching the next few days. What it means is your stock market of belief is going to collapse. You're going to have a stock market of something you believe collapse, basically, in the next, well, actually between now and the end of the year, but probably you might see it when the sun moves into Aries next month. Something you once believed in, just going out the door, but that is opening the door for creating your own belief, etc. So that really starts on Friday. Don't forget on Friday, we also have Carolyn Nagel and myself with SG Live. This is our live webcam radio show where we connect with our viewers in a chat room. We've been talking about developing psychic ability and giving some tools and some little games to play to develop your psychic ability. That's the hot topic. Come on down. If you can't make it, we do record it and it's available over the weekend. So come on down for that. Then on Saturday, it is an action day. It's a day of taking action with these new boundaries. So if you've been fighting this whole boundary story with a particular person or a love affair or something very hands-on, absolute, it all comes to a head probably Saturday where you have to enforce whatever you've decided. Otherwise, you have to enforce with yourself what you decided, so you might have to be tough on yourself. The best thing to do is just to act. Just act, just do. Because we're talking about boundaries, action energy could lead to randiness, it could lead to anxiety. Mars under the surface can lead to a lot of things that aren't true, so be aware of yourself on that day. This is the day where Mercury actually hits the Uranus at 4 degrees, so if there's going to be a stock market crash of belief, the first possibility is Saturday. And this red line here is a fear between letting go of the old lifestyle and stepping into the new boundaries. So trusting yourself to step off the ledge. This would be the Fool card in the tarot, if you know your tarot deck. You really want to be the Fool and have faith. That's what it takes in that moment. The moon actually moves into Aquarius, so as the day progresses on Saturday, your emotions shift to others, relationships, relationship management, including your own mirage, how you treat yourself. So Saturday is definitely a day where you'll be looking at the balance of things as well. On Sunday, we're just holding space. I think you'll feel pretty good on Sunday, Your Majesty. It's also a great date day or a day to hang out with someone you care about. The moon in Aquarius really puts you out there. Remember to face these fears. But other than that, I think you're going to be A-okay on Sunday, so just hang out till then. All right, well, that's all I have for this particular edition. Don't forget to get your 30-minute follow-up for free at soulmart.me, or come join our big den of lions at soulgarden.me, and I'll see you in 7 days. Until then, live, love, be.